Today we have with us Mr. Sriram Somajlasa, someone who has made his passion and education together and turned it out to be his profession. He is a performance analyst for DC, also have been affiliated with various cricket boards like Afghanistan Cricket Board, Sri Lankan Cricket Board, and his contributions are not only in the field of cricket but kabaddi, badminton, and football on an international level. And it's an absolute honor to have you, sir, on my show here.
Pleasure. Thank you, Janvi.
Yeah, and how have you been, sir?
I've been very good. Just 2 months of refreshing time here for us
Yeah.
after the IPL was suspended in May. Yeah, but it's been so far so good. I mean, we're preparing for the IPL ahead of us, and there's TNPL coming up. There's 100 ball, the new competition that's in England, and yeah, there's Olympics that's coming up, and there's so many events. The filled with events this calendar year. So there's so much ahead of us this year.
And also, sir, starting with that, we all know your role that you play a very important role in technical and tactical aspects. And but can you focus more on what contributions do you do to the team and your designation? What role do you play, and how did you came across this career option?
And then I've actually shared my experiences as a performance analyst and what how it all shaped up for me personally. So like like a lot of youngsters, in childhood we all dream to be playing for the country, and the most loved sport in India is cricket.
Yeah.
So that's how I started, and it's history, but uh, but the love for the game, again brought me here so far. Yes, I had many career options which I could have taken up on doing many other things, but I still chose to stick on to my first love in the sport. Yes, that actually gave me good platform to be where I am today. So that way I should say that I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing, what I love what I love doing. And yeah, here you go. It's almost 13, 14 years of work that I've done so far here. And yes, the things were not the same initially when I started. Was full of challenges, had to accept failures, had to accept rejections from people. Went through different emotions, and that's when you get strong and you want to pursue more, and have that conviction that yes, you can achieve in this field. You can still win over the failures, and see how you can succeed. That's my only thing that was with me, I would say, personally speaking. Initial times, what I'm cut out for. Then my parents said, look, I think you're almost 5 years in this field of work now. You haven't done much, and you shouldn't be wasting too much time on this. You should look at your parallel career, or look at what else you can do, and
Yeah.
things like that. So it took a bit of time for me to accept that as well. And obviously I said I'm not going to give up on what I have done so far, and I'm just right here to see success. So success is not defined in any book saying that this is how you have to do, or to reach. I knew that I was going to achieve it at some stage. Again, thanks to my family, because they sort of, um, you know, they were with me in every step that I took. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, the very next question I wanted to relate to your story only that we live in India, and here the parents have this mentality. Okay, academics should always be given more importance than co-curricular activities. But like even if we talk about the sports industry, people are not very clear about the pathway to pursue some designation in sports industry. So being an analyst, like if someone wants to pursue this career, then what is the way to it? I mean, what kind of academic qualification one needs to achieve that designation?
Look, today, if you look at in India, the concept of sports education is actually, growing.
Yeah.
And 10 years back, it wasn't the case. People were thinking that, okay, getting into sports is not like, our Indian way of thinking. And, our people are more tuned towards
Yeah.
engineering and, getting into medicine and all sorts of
Yes.
other master's degrees and stuff. So sports education was always the way. In fact, there was in every other country you look at, Western countries basically, they will say sports is part of your education. So
Yes.
sports education was part of their learning as well when they grew up. So it is actually, evolving now, and people are more open towards getting into sports education. It's not just into analytics; it is also into sport marketing. Could be sports journalism, branding. You can list out a variety of options in sports education
Yeah.
today. Yes, it is challenging still. It is not like the market is open for everyone to come and get work, because there are million billion people who
Yeah.
want to uh, get into sports education, and they want also sports based jobs. It's not easy, but there are
Yes.
avenues where there's plenty of talent in India. India is just 10 years back, or what has been there for last 40, 50 years or even more.
Yes.
So India produces a lot of talent. The skill that comes from this country is massive, and people are looking forward to getting into sports education. It could be any field, like I said, anything to do with sports. A lot of people are getting into analytics. Yes, the ratio is massive if you compare to what it was in 2010 or even before that. Today, the good thing about getting into in sports, as a matter of fact, if you see, I would have easily got about 3,000 odd profiles in the last year or so. Yes, more so during the COVID times, where people actually sitting home, they wanted to learn, or probably upskill their knowledge with knowing what is data analysis in sports, and how that will eventually help them personally understand the sport itself, or the job role, etc., etc. So getting in people who are interested, this is my message. You don't have to worry about which degree you do, but uh, the passion is very important. Yes, we all watch a sport. We can choose a sport and say, look, I love the sport and I watch the sport. But what is more important is how much you can talk about it, how much you can you are well versed with that sport, in being able to communicate that to the people in that sport. So it could be a football coach that you are you would want to insights with. You should be able to have the complete information inside of that particular sport. So my answer would be for young aspirants, is that you don't need to necessarily have a particular degree, but yes, sports education, if you get into, you will certainly know the nuances of the industry and your job role, the demands of this role at the workplace, and so forth. That will help people achieve in this industry.
Summing up, sir, with this, I would like to ask you that, as you mentioned, that there are so many aspects to the game, whether it's managerial or technical, or there are people working in the media department as well. So, do you think that in India there should be more awareness about the sporting industry? Because till now, only two universities, not even universities, two academies are providing with sports management and these sort of courses. I've seen you have come up with a sports analytical course. So, how are these courses very much important for the younger generation to at least know, okay, these kind of things still exist here in India and not abroad only?
Very much. See, that's my core idea as well. I know India is still in its nascent stages in launching such programs, workshops, and the courses itself for the aspirants. But what I'm saying is, if someone like myself, I'm ready to go out and then design a curriculum for on, call it a workshop, say for a period of a year or two. My workshops are mostly for 1 year and 1.5 years. That includes the internships as well. What you would certainly be learning in an internship, the subjects that you will be learning are all covered in our programs as well. But what more we give is, we give the experience sharings, with what we felt in the past and how we evolved in this field of work. And most importantly, if you look at from what it was in 2005, 2010, the evolution of the work itself, we talk about it. Like I said, experience sharing is very important.
Yeah.
And until the person has become market ready, they will give their exams here. And there are quite a few registrations that I have got in the last say 1 or 2 months. That's simply because, again, word of mouth. I don't advertise much. I just do a couple of orientations and people start coming in after that, because it's just a word of mouth, and people from several parts of the world, they've come in actually.
Yeah.
Already, we are 250 plus students in just in this 6 months time, and we wish to, it's not just about focusing on the numbers. It's about the people passing out every year, and this is the first attempt of mine also, to create such young aspirants to, obviously they need to be market ready when they go out. If you are an employer, you come and ask this guy, uh, what is X, what is Y, you should be able to answer them, and you should be ready for that. We again train them for what the employers will demand of them. When I say employers, it could be a team, and a coach from the team will ask you, get me a solution. This person has to be able to come up with solutions. So,
Yeah.
and the thinking cannot be just one dimensional. It has to be taking so many other factors into consideration to be able to arrive at a decision. So we give them test scenarios, and we don't train them on just one sport. The good thing about it is we ask them to choose their own passion. I mean, where their passion lies in which sport, and based on that we ask them to interested in football or a badminton, or even any other sport. It could be a friction sport, it could be anything, combat. So we ask them to choose those sports, and then we actually sit with them. Of course, 95% of them are cricket lovers, and they all have chosen cricket here now so far. But yes, this is what we do.
And so, is it like a lot of programming is also needed, and one should be a techno savvy person to pursue this course?
There are one way of looking at it is a data analyst, non-technical side. The other one is technical side of things, like a developer. So a developer actually could be in deriving formula, and programming, say Python or R or any other languages on data science, right? You
Yeah.
could learn, you could probably write programs on creating dashboards and see how effectively your team can use. It could be one way of like working with a team as a backend data scientist. The other way is more hands-on data, and you should be able to manipulate that data. You should be able to work on the data, right? So how you work on the data? Basically, you are adding the information which is available in a more compounded format, and then
Yeah.
giving that in a comprehensive package to the coaches and the players.
Yeah.
So how you derive that information, you should still be able to work on it. Although you are a non know how to work on an Excel,
Yeah. Okay.
right? Excel is a very simple tool today. I mean, all of us
Yeah.
use that at some stage in our lives, isn't it? So,
Yes.
so those are the minimum things that you as an individual will come across as challenges. But yes, technology is there to bridge that gap of human inference, and the time that it saves you,
Yeah.
is massive.
And I guess all these tips and all these advices will definitely work for aspiring an analyst who want to pursue their course into this field. You have